I grew up thinking my Uncle George was a hero. He paid for my school, bought us food when my dad lost his job, and helped anyone who asked. My mom always said, "Your uncle is the reason we have a roof over our heads." And I believed her. Until my 17th birthday. George gave me a brand new laptop as a gift. It was expensive, shiny, something I could never have afforded on my own. On the desk, next to the box, he left a small USB stick. "Here's everything you'll need for college," he said with a smile. That night, after the party, I plugged the USB in to install the programs. But there was just one file. Password protected. The password was the name of his dog. I guessed it on the first try. What opened wasn't software. It was a video. A girl from our neighborhood sat in a dark room, crying. She looked younger than me. Her voice shook as she whispered, "If you tell anyone, you'll be next." My blood ran cold. I closed the laptop, heart pounding, and tried to tell myself I had imagined it. Maybe it was a prank. A sick joke. The next morning, I called my cousin. She hung up as soon as I said George's name. That evening, we had our usual Sunday dinner. George acted completely normal, laughing with my parents, pouring wine. But when no one was looking, he leaned close to me and whispered, "Delete the file. Or you'll regret it." I didn't sleep that night. The next day, I wrote a long letter to my teacher, the only adult I trusted. I didn't know what else to do. 2 days later, CPS and police came to our house. They searched George's computers, took the USB, and arrested him on the spot. My mother screamed at me until her voice broke. My father said I had betrayed our family. My sister called me a liar and spat in my face. 2 days later, George was released on bail. That night, I got a message from an unknown number, "Better disappear before he comes home." I didn't wait to find out if they were serious. I stuffed my school bag with clothes, the little money I had, and caught a bus to a different city. I checked myself into a youth shelter under a fake last name. For a while, it worked. But then the harassment began. Fake Instagram pages appeared calling me a liar, a traitor. Photos of me with slurs painted over my face. One afternoon, 2 of my cousins were waiting outside my school. They never got to me. The security guard called the police. CPS got me an emergency restraining order. My mother left me a voicemail that night, her voice icy, "If you don't drop the charges, you are no longer our daughter." I didn't reply. 11 months later, the trial finally began. I thought it would be quick, an open and shut case. But George was rich. He had lawyers. And most of my relatives came to court to support him. For days, they painted me as a jealous, troubled girl who wanted attention. Some neighbors even testified on his behalf. I thought I was going to lose, until they showed the other videos. There were more girls. Some I knew, some I didn't. 2 had already disappeared. The courtroom went silent. George was sentenced to 35 years. I thought it was over. It wasn't. My family turned on me completely. Friends sent me a video from my old backyard. My relatives were burning my photos. My sister posted TikToks calling me a liar and revealing what city I'd moved to. One night, someone smashed the mailbox of my foster home and spray-painted "Rat" on the driveway. I was moved to another city under a new identity. 2 years have passed since then. I'm in college now. Nobody here knows my real name. But the fear never really goes away. Last week, I got a letter. It was from my sister. "Mom is dying," she wrote. "She wants to see you. She says you destroyed the family, but she forgives you." I stared at the letter for a long time before dropping it into the trash. Because forgiveness doesn't erase what they allowed to happen. Forgiveness doesn't bring back the girls he hurt. And forgiveness won't make me forget the night George leaned in at the dinner table and whispered, "Delete the file." I won't delete it. I won't delete anything. Because if speaking out made me the villain in my family's story, I'd rather be their villain than stay their silent victim.